Well, folks, in this lifetime, we're all salespeople, not necessarily products or services. Rather, we're always trying to sell people on our ideas. Negotiation is a skill that doesn't come naturally for everybody, hence all those books that have been written about it. Now, it's definitely easier, though, when you have leverage in the situation, but what happens when you don't come from a place of power? Well, that might mean that you have to make greater concessions than you originally wanted to, or that you'll have to work harder than other people, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you won't get what you want. A few general rules of thumb, whether or not you're in the place of power, is to know what you have to offer and be confident in it, to not come from a place of emotion or desperation, as that definitely weakens your position, and also knowing who you're going up against. And definitely do not behave like Riddhi Patel did, who, for some context, is a 28-year-old activist from Bakersfield, California, which has been the hub of a lot of pro-Palestine wrath lately. As in February, about 36 pro-Palestine activists were ejected from a Bakersfield city council after chanting for a ceasefire, bringing proceedings to a standstill. And in March, when 5 people were arrested during another protest calling for a ceasefire, for assaulting police officers and causing property damage. And this may or may not be related, but earlier this month, Bakersfield City Council approved measures for increased security in the council chambers and other public city buildings, including metal detectors, which angered Riddhi, who had some choice words for the mayor.
Hi there, my name is Riddhi Patel. I'm here to speak in support of the City Council introducing a ceasefire resolution, specifically the one United Liberation Front has drafted. I don't have faith that you'll do this. You guys are all horrible human beings, and Jesus probably would have killed you himself. And the thing is, though, it's very clear to me as someone who's been an organizer for the past couple of years that none of you care, because you guys don't care about anything happening in Palestine or any other country where oppression occurs, because you don't care about the oppression occurring here. And I understand that you guys are all horrible people, but the thing is, 2,300 people being evicted in the last year, those are votes. And you guys, those are votes to win here in Bakersfield. And while you guys parade Gandhi around as a Hindu holiday called Chaitra Navratri starts off this week, I remind you that these holidays that we practice, that other people in the global south practice, believe in violent revolution against their oppressors. And I hope one day somebody brings the guillotine and kills all of you mother. The increased criminalization for no need other than you don't like when people come and hold you guys accountable for introducing ceasefire resolutions, because the only escalation in violence has been by you all. And so there's no need to continue. In the last 5 years I've attended city council meetings, there's never been metal detectors, there's never been more cops. The only reason you're doing it is because people actually don't care if you guys don't like them, and they're actually resisting, so you want to criminalize them. So regardless of whether you elect people into office, they'll backstab you, they'll let you die, and for that reason, you guys want to criminalize us with metal detectors? We'll see you at your house. We'll murder you.
Lance, followed by Kev, followed by Valeria.
Ms. Patel, that was a threat, what you said at the end, and so the officers are going to escort you out and take care of that.
And indeed they did, as she was arrested and charged with 18 felony counts, including 10 counts of the intent to terrorize a public official, including 5 city council members, the mayor, the city clerk, assistant city clerk, city attorney, and city manager, and 8 counts of threatening public officials, as 2 of the city council members did not feel threatened. And initially, she was to be held on a $1 million bond, which was then knocked down to $500,000, which she managed to post, after pleading not guilty while crying uncontrollably, so her lawyer had to enter her plea for her. In a typical, I did nothing wrong but everybody else did manner. Now, everybody is entitled to their day in court, but I think it's worth noting that she's spitting off about how these city officials won't take accountability for not caring about a ceasefire in Gaza, yet she probably doesn't hold herself accountable to any reasonable standard of behavior. Everything about her screams, "I'm a hypocrite," as prior to this incident, she was working for the Center on Race, Poverty, and the Environment, an organization whose mission is to achieve environmental justice and healthy, sustainable communities through collective action and, keyword, the law, which they did make an official statement condemning her behavior and terminating her employment, but they also did limit their replies. Which I get it, because in light of this incident, you don't want everybody spamming you on X with all this hate, but one thing that did come up for me was a past social media post from 2021, where she said F Modi, BJP, which if you're not familiar is a political party from India, Nikki Haley, and other Indian politicians. Which I have my issues with the Indian political system for a number of reasons, but that's an argument for a different day. But back to the subject. Let's grant for argument's sake that her former employer overlooked and just didn't notice that Facebook post from 2021. It can happen. It does beg a bigger issue for me, that the environment around her has enabled her entire life, as evidenced by the people on X who are coming to her defense. Like Alex Valdivia on X said, "Free Riddhi Patel," accusing this of being political. And then you have Hermit here on X upset that they're throwing the book at her, while supposedly the greater crime is the US orchestrated Gaza genocide, which got nearly 9,000 retweets and 1 million views. Next, you have an account literally named Riddhi Patel is innocent, saying they're only doing this to dissenting voices, that they knew for a fact that she wasn't going to murder anyone, and praying for her acquittal, which got over 6,000 retweets and was seen by over 1 million people. But funny enough, was fact-checked on X, saying there wasn't any evidence that she wasn't going to murder anyone. All of this, in my opinion, is enabling her. And seriously, how entitled do you have to be that you resort to death threats when things don't go your way? And it's funny because she calls these people cowards for wanting increased security measures and then proceeds to threaten to kill them. I mean, geez, I wonder why they want increased security measures. But despite all of this enabling that's been going on, there are still good people in this world who are willing to call her out on this bullcrap, including some of her own people. As Ankita posted a tweet in Hindi that roughly translates to, "For anyone else who's thinking about going woke," calling Riddhi Patel out. And Sunanda here saying, "Go woke, go broke," who by the way appears to be from New Delhi. And then Swati saying, "Don't feel sorry for her if you are of Indian origin." And I'm satisfied to say that I don't claim her either, because as somebody who's very proud of their Indian heritage while also deeply sharing American values, I wouldn't want anybody thinking that this girl somehow represents the average Indian American. Now, back to my earlier monologue about negotiation. As it turns out, the mayor of Bakersfield, Karen Go, is a Republican. Now, that shouldn't have any effect on how the justice is applied, and if it was a conservative who behaved in that same manner, I would hope that the book would also get thrown at them. But when you're a public official, you're in a very high place of power, something that Riddhi Patel does not seem to remember. Now, toss the death threats aside for a second. Arriving in extremely bad faith the way that she did is a surefire way to lose, because when you feel you need to put somebody on the defensive, that screams loud and clear that your ideas are not worth listening to. Ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, and if you're new to this channel, hopefully I've earned a subscription. Here's some videos for you to watch in the meantime. Until next time, peace out.